G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. It's it's a bit bloody warm. At the moment, I just had a look before I started recording here, and tomorrow we're looking at 36 degrees. We're about 32, 33 at the moment, Monday morning, and but the evening temperatures have dropped a little bit. It's a lot nicer to have a bit of a sleep at around 18 and 20 degrees. So we did have last week, some nights it was 26 degrees and it's just a bit hot for sleeping. Oh well, you get to sleep, but anyway, it's just not as comfortable as it could be. But look, we've had a busy week. I've cleaned up all the bench here. This is my old bench I used to do all the stews on ages ago, and my other camera used to throw a real yellowy light here, and this Nikon doesn't seem to, so that's a good thing. And I've just finished filming. I've got the gearbox here for the 6-speed, and I've just finished filming putting the main shaft in that. This bearing was the bearing that I'd forgotten to order, and I'd bloody busy weekend, but I got the bearing, and through the week I looked up all the John Deere parts, and I've had a bit of a scrummage through the John Deere 1640 just to see what's needed, and anyway, I bought new filters home and all that stuff I had in stock at work, and like a split kit, a gasket split kit, the PDO packs, and just a few bits and pieces that I had in stock, O-rings for the pipes and things like that. So it looks like only, I don't know where they got their prices from to fix the bloody thing, but it's the 15 grand. Christ, I've taken parts out of stock, probably worth $300, and I've put an order into John Deere for $211 worth of O-rings and the special packings on the high-low. But the trouble with that was I brought these bloody parts home, and under the bench here I have a place where I'm just seeing the John Deere parts separate from everything else, so I know they're there. And anyway, I've been looking this morning to film this part of putting the main shaft in the 6-speed gearbox, and well, do you think I could find this bloody bearing? And I looked and looked, and I thought perhaps it's still in the car. So I had a look in the car, and no. My little place I normally put stuff, I've got a little table I put it on, and then I also have a chair over near the door, and if I have a couple of parts I just drop them on the chair in a box, and I know they're 135 parts. Well, I've had all that apart, and I've had I've been doing a lot of work in the shed over the last week, and bloody looked and looked and looked, and I rang Jude and at the shop, and I said, "That bloody bearing not in there, is it?" And she said, "No, I'm sure you took it, sir." And I was sure I did too, so I had a look, and anyway, it took me about 4 or 5 hours of ginning around, and finally I remembered, that was the day I got some of those John Deere bits. So here was me bearings sitting in the box with the John Deere parts. God, bloody getting Alzheimer's, I think. And but anyway, I looked and looked and looked. You think I could find the bastard thing? But anyway, well, they say it was you found it your last place I looked. So, but look, we had the grandkids up over the weekend, and the young bloke, my lad, who's their dad, him and his new girlfriend went off camping for a few days. So Poppy and Grandma, we looked after the kids, and we had a ball, had a good bit of fun, and. Saturday the little fella comes up the shed here, and he tear asses around and hops on tractors and hops in here and around there, and hides on you and all sorts of things. You don't get much done up the shed, but you have a heap of fun. And look, hopefully over the years, if he stays coming into the shed, and the opportunities that would be open to a young lad in this shed are just unreal. We can't do apprenticeships or anything like that, but just the picking up a few tips and knowing how to service your car, and we've got the hoist over here and all that sort of thing. So hopefully over the years he stays keen. I make an effort to make him keen, and nothing's too much trouble up the shed. Even the grandkids are here, we'll play with this and we'll do that, and we'll pump a tyre up together, and we'll do all sorts of things like that. So yesterday we had him pumping push bike tyres up and things like that. We've got a puncher in one of the granddaughter's areas. bike, so we've got to fix that, but I'll probably save that till next weekend so they can have a look and see how it's done. And well, actually not next weekend, we're going away, but anyway, yeah, just a busy week. I've done some axles through the week for a TE20 for a fella, and so I'd set the bench up here to do all that. And then I have a friend Biddy, and he bought a Ford 3000 petrol, a gasoline tractor, and with the gasoline tractor, it had a big Holly carby on it, and I'm not sure. It looked like I was just missing a phone call coming through there, but anyway, we'll see. Hopefully it's not buzzing through the microphone or anything like that. And yeah, but Biddy's got this Ford 3000 petrol, and it's got a Holly carby, and it looks like it's got a power valve in the guts of it. And I did that first one of those I'd ever done, so it took me a little while to play around after work, and then I did a couple of axles for Malcolm, and I've got the press set up now down low, the big press that is, to do that. And look, one axle pressed apart at 5 tonne, the other was 35 tonne. So how the press was before I put air over hydraulic on it, well, you wouldn't be sure. But last weekend, when we got the John Deere here, late that afternoon there was going to be storms, and so I raced around like a blue-ass fly and got it all under cover. And this morning so far I've been out and I've got just out in the wash bay where I wash all my parts, I've got the engine and the centre housing out there, and I've put the canopy on the back of the Colorado ute, and that gives me a bay out the door at the back. Like you've got the front doors, the 2 big front doors on Bundy Bear's shed, then you've got a back door this way and a back door that way, and this way has the hoist, and that way is just an open bay. So it looks like I can get the 1640 in that back bay with the door open next to it. So I've still got a little bit to shift yet, so I've been doing a bit of housework, a bit of tidying stuff up, and oh yeah, you seem to go round and round in circles, pick it up from here and put it there. But we're going away next weekend, and so I don't know what will get done. We're leaving Thursday, so the kids will be here to look after the house, and also we're going away on Thursday up to Gracemere. The nephew's daughter's getting engaged up at the Gracemere Hotel Saturday night, so Judy and I are taking the opportunity to go a day or two early, and some of you may or may not know, back in 1988, 89, mainly 1988, Judy and I used to work for Australian Airlines, and in working for Australian Airlines, I was 2IC of the maintenance department on Great Keppel Island Resort, and Judy come up there to work with me, and she was my girlfriend at the time, and I said, well, I'll come up there and work if they found a job for my girlfriend, and they did. And so she started off as a housemaid, but after a couple of months up there, she ended up 2IC of the housemaids and the laundry department up there. And look, we stayed there for a year or so, and then and we used to stay on the island for 2 or 3 months at a time, and then we'd grab an extra day off and we'd head over to Rockhampton, Yeppoon or somewhere like that, and just get back on the mainland and do a bit of shopping and a bit of mucking around like that. But look, we went from there to Mackay to work for Case at Mackay, you know, the Case store, not a dealer, at Mackay, and then from there we went out Mergen, out through there before we come to Bundy to live. But in doing that though, like, we had family and all that, and we've never been back. And so up at Gracemere, it's sort of the south end of Rockhampton on the coast there almost, and Yeppoon is over on the coast. So we're not going to go to Keppel. The resort over the years has it's been sold, and it looks like it's gone into a bit of neglect, suffered from lack of attention, I think, and so we're not going to go out there. There used to be a Middle Island underwater observatory up there, and Judy always wanted to go back there. It was something she had good memories of out there, so I went and googled that the other day, but it closed down in 2004, so they are looking at getting it going again. But yeah, we're going to drive up on the Thursday. We're going to spend the Friday driving around as Terry tourists. We're going to take the caravan up to the caravan park at Gracemere there, and And Saturday night at the pub there's the party, and yeah, I suppose Friday we'll have family rolling in for a chat and a beer and a fiddle around anyway. So I should be back in the shed here Monday, next week. Yeah, next Monday, and so I may get something done. We'll just see. No promises though. The on me bloody Holden, Colorado, you got there a shit heap, and I was coming up 40,000 kilometres, so I thought before I took it away, the other day I'd pop it on the hoist and give it a service, and I've got EFS suspension under it, and freewheeling hubs and that on the front. So anyway, I was doing the normal service, which includes tyre pressures, and look, it was just a basic service. 50,000 will probably get serious, but it was just a bit of a basic service, and changed the engine oil, and I went to rotate the tyres, rotate the wheels from front left to right rear and back and forth and all that, and anyway, I noticed the front hub on the left hand side, the freewheeling hub was a little bit loose, and they don't come standard with freewheeling hubs. I put freewheeling hubs on it, so because we got the suspension lifted a bit for towing and that, I put freewheeling hubs on so that the CV joints, the constant velocity joints, weren't running all the time. So anyway, I had a look at that and I thought, oh, bloody thing's loose. The hub's a bit loose, so I'll have a look. And I thought, oh, look, I'll just undo it and check if it needs grease or all that. So I pulled it apart, and look, I was going to show you, then I've gone and chucked the bloody thing out. But yeah, the outer bearing, I must have gone through a puddle or something. It's brought a bit of moisture in, I believe, and yeah, the outer wheel bearings. Yeah, well, they weren't good. They're discoloured even. And so off I goes into Repco, and yeah, you got any wheel bearings for a 2013 Colorado? And I said, oh yeah, here we go, $200. And so off I comes home with me new wheel bearings, and I fitted all new wheel bearings and all that to it and set them all up nicely. And there's a little bit of a turbo line leak, so I had a bit of a look at that, and going around the back having a look round there, and the shackle rubbers were gone. Now, there's something I was going to put out there and ask everyone, but it's with the shackles. I've actually got greasable shackles, and we use neoprene shackles, and we've been using a like a molybdenum-based grease. And anyway, in 40,000 kilometres, this is our third set of shackle bushes at the back, or shackle rubbers. And we do some heavy towing with it, and it's got a fair bit of weight on it sometimes, a ute, and it's what we tow the tractors with, and we often tow the caravan with it and things like that. But look, they appear to be 9/16, yeah, probably 9/16 pins, maybe 5/8, but I think 9/16. And I've got two flats on them where the grease holes go, and you can pump her up. And apparently with Noelthane bushes and that, you use a molly grease, and we've tried a couple of greases with them, and it doesn't seem to make any difference really. But look, what I've been thinking of was making some steel ones with brass inserts. Now, the ones in the chassis, if you just made a steel bush with a nice Foss bronze bush, the bush would only need to be a few mil, 1/8 of an inch thick, wall diameter. And yeah, if you just pump grease in there and had it going, that'd be a nice thing, I think. And even on the bottom, when the last set of bushes I put in, and we make sure it's down on the ground, and we've got the load we want before we tighten the bolts up, and so they're all set properly, so you're not stressing them right from the word go. But on some of the heavy trucks and things like that, they don't have rubber bushes or Noelthane bushes. They have like steel with a brass insert, a replaceable bush. So I'd be interested in what everyone thinks about making some. Yeah, like I can make them, no worries at all, but the sensibility of making them. And by the time you have the flange, everyone knows what a bush looks like, I suppose. You have a bush along and it's got a like a flat rivet head on it, and that rubs on the plates on the side, for your side thrust. So you could have brass out there, or you could make the whole bloody thing out of brass. It wouldn't matter. And yeah, with it greaseable, a couple of grease tracks in it, and should be good. Then when you're on the spring end, in the spring eye, you just make them so they're a firm fit in the outer and a nice sliding fit for the pin inside. And yeah, look, mine had disintegrated to where they just started to polish the pin a little bit. And yeah, 10,000 Ks ago, I noticed they were getting a bit dicky, but they're gone now. And anyway, in doing that, I looks up to the top of the shocky, and here's the nut and the washer come off the shocky, missing, and just not bloody there. So this morning, Monday morning, I've been around town, I've been to Repco, I've been everywhere looking for the shocky rubbers are rooted, and looking for a new set of shocky rubbers and a new washer. And I could go to my local bolt place and I found a good nylon lock nuts for them. But no one's got the proper rubbers, so I've ordered them. It's an EFS suspension setup in it, EFS shockies, and they've ordered me the rubbers. So, but look, the ones that are in it, they'll do fine to go away with, but it'll be one of those jobs we have to do when we come back. Look, it's no big deal. Shocky rubbers, you pop her up on the hoist and it's done. And yeah, last year we went down south, or it might have been the year before, and we went down south and I cooked the battery. And just recently my spotlights at the front weren't working, and looks like what's happened was a bit of the acid from cooking up the battery when the battery failed, went down into the fuse holder for the spotlights and corroded that out. So yeah, the old collie's got a lot of attention this weekend. It's got new filters all around, it's got engine oil change, it's got new front wheel bearings and seals and all that, and it's got the hubs all serviced and greased, and it's got new nolethane bushes in the back end in the rear shackles, and it's got lock nuts on all the shockies and washers now that I had to sort of make a washer. And yeah, so for 40,000 Ks, I don't know, I always seem to be doing something to the collie. And I've had the other utes over Mitsubishi Tritons, and people hate Tritons for some reason, or some people do, but Christ, I've had a good run out of them, and way better than I've ever out of the Colorado anyway. And but I see in 2019 now there's a new Mitsubishi Triton ute out, and yeah, bugger it, I might go and have a look at one of them, I think. And a bit early yet, I don't really want to do that. I've got a new Triton ute outside there. It's it'll be 2 years old shortly, and yeah, we don't do a lot of miles. It's done 9,000. It's our good car, and it's only done 9,000 kilometres. So, but at 40,000 kilometres for the Colorado, yeah, it seems I'm always doing something to it. There's something little going on. So it's a single cab ute, and well, those of you that watch the channel will know it. And I'm trying to talk myself in now to having a dual cab, just as my work ute, and main reason being we have the grandkids with us a lot, and my camping body, you can buy a tray so my camping body would sit straight on it, and in one corner of that I could pop my fridge still and things like that, and dual battery set up. I've got dual batteries in the Triton now, so yeah, it wouldn't be too hard, I don't think. Anyway, sounds like I've got a visitor. I better go and have a chat. Well, there you go. I had to make Dave roll in. I better take me lookers off. Yeah, he come in for a yarn. He's got an old Case S, or SEX, the export model, and he's just pulled the engine apart, and we measured some pistons up, and rang Melbourne and ordered some rings that we're going to get for him over the next couple of days, and he's going to put that together. But yeah, look, that was a while ago now. So since then I've been outside, since I took a break, I went outside and I've pressure cleaned all the Johnny, and I've got it into the bay that I'd like it to be in. And I've fiddled around, and I've got the legs on, the legs I made for the brackets. I'll take you over there and show you them. They've worked out really well. And yeah, look, it's been a good thing in general. But but yeah, just chatting away, doing a video, mate comes and that's it. 3-4 hours later I get back in. That noise that you can hear, that's the pressure pump, and that reminds me that I haven't turned the tap off to the pressure cleaner and the hose is leaking a little bit, so I'll have to have a look at that and do that. So, but look, that's about it for this week. Yeah, I've only got the main shaft done on the 6-speed. I've got the other tractor in where I can work on it now. John Deere, I ordered the parts last Tuesday, the parts that I didn't have in stock, and I rang him Friday and said, how are we going with those parts? Because it was only O-rings and seals and things like that. And they said, oh, we put that on a stock order. And I said, well, when's the stock order? And they said, oh, this coming week sometime. So, yeah, so John Deere, if you want the parts, if you want the parts and say, oh, I wouldn't mind them by the weekend on Monday or Tuesday, well, I'll get them, but it costs you $30. And just for airbag, because all of a sudden it becomes an urgent order. So everyone for that day, the whole 10 years, all get hit for the surcharge. But if you're not in a hurry and say, nah, stock order will do, I believe there's no surcharge. Well, I'll tell you next weekend anyway. Oh, bloody dodgy. But anyway, that's it. That's what we've got to put up with. Heading off down the pub shortly. Yeah, friends Jody and Dave that stayed with us a little while ago. Jody's up here on work as a safety officer for the big towers, the big telecommunication towers. She's a safety officer for when they're putting them up, and then they also, her company, the company she works for, owns the contract for checking all the electricity meters around the area. So she has to come up every so often and do a face-to-face with their meter readers and see if they're having troubles, and go and do a few meter reads with them and have a chat and make sure they're coping with it and all that sort of thing. So when she comes up, she stays in a motel, either down in Bundy here or sometimes down at Bagara. And yeah, Jude and I jump in the car and we go and have a meal with her and have a chat and have a catch up. So anyway, that might do for this week. I'll take you for a quick walk on what I've done or where I've got the Johnny, so you understand the whole picture. And we'll catch you next week, eh? Well, we're a bit windy out here, but I've got the back on the Colorado, ready to go away for the weekend. So that's all serviced up now. I still have to do shocky rubbers yet, but we'll get there. And then the white Triton, well, it'll go in the shed here. And this is just coming in the front of the shed. Got a bit of a working dog there. Hey, working Swifties. And when I come in, that's a 135 multi-power up there. I'm just mucking around with the wheels, working out the widths for the trailer, and I've got it worked out now. That's good. I've got the Johnny here, the little Fergie Goldie there, and over in this bay here, that's the camera flashes out with the light a little bit. I've got the John Deere here, so I've got room in there to do the high-low and all that sort of thing. I can jump in there and get all that sorted out. I can shift Goldie here out of the way when I need to get a little crane in to do some lifting or something like that. So the 6-speed, at the moment the 6-speed is here, and we're working our way to the back end. Then I've got a few axles ahead to do. I've got to pull the ones out of the Fergies yet. I've got the press bed sitting down, waiting. Well, I might even pull the axles on both 135s and do them while I've got it down there. And then this is where the compressor is, and I've got big lights up there. And the microphone and the lights, and this is where I'm doing the gearbox at the moment. So anyway, there you go. That's all that's been happening for a week.